quiet village, Dara was already awake, his hands pressing into the cool, damp clay. The earth beneath his fingers had been gathered from the riverbank the evening before, a place his father once called the village's lifeline. To Dara, it was more than soil. It was memory, survival, and a fragile promise of continuity. Dara shaped each jar with careful precision, turning the wheel slowly as his foot pushed the pedal in steady rhythm. These jars were not decorative pieces. They were vessels for water, for grain, for life itself. In a place where plastic was rare and metal expensive, the river's clay became the foundation of daily living. Years ago, the river ran deeper and clearer. Dara remembered walking beside his father, watching fish dart to the water like quick flashes of silver. Now, the waterline had shrunk, and the banks had grown uneven, carved by seasons of unpredictable rain. Still, the clay remained, though it had become harder to find, buried beneath layers of sand and debris. After shaping the jar, Dara set aside to dry in the open air. Nearby, a thin brown dog lay watching him. The animal had appeared one afternoon months ago, ribs visible beneath its skin, eyes cautious but hopeful. Dara had offered it scraps, and it had never left. Now, the dog followed him everywhere, a silent companion who seemed to understand the rhythm of his days. By mid-morning, Dara walked to the river with a woven basket slung over his shoulder. The dog trailed behind, its paws leaving faint prints in the dust. The journey was longer than it used to be. Where water once flowed freely, patches of cracked earth stretched wide, forcing him to walk further downstream. When he reached the riverbank, Dara knelt and began to dig. His fingers searched beneath the surface, feeling for the smooth, dense texture of usable clay. Each handful mattered. Without it, he could not make the jars the village depended on. As he worked, the dog wandered along the edge of the water, sniffing and occasionally pausing to stare into the shallow current. A bird flew overhead, its shadow gliding across the ground like a passing thought. The world continued, but it felt thinner, as though something essential was quietly fading. Dara filled his basket slowly. He had learned not to take more than necessary. His father once told him that the earth gives, but it also remembers. Taking too much would leave nothing for tomorrow. That lesson had stayed with him, even as others in nearby towns dug deeper, faster, caring more about profit than preservation. On the way back, Dara noticed a section of the riverbank that had collapsed. The soil had given way, exposing roots that clung desperately to what remained. He paused, studying the damage. It was a small collapse, but it spoke of larger changes. The land was shifting, and with it, the balance his village relied on.